Ever notice how the biggest news always seems to break right before bed? Just as you're winding down, your phone buzzes with an alert that could change everything. In these moments, we turn to our late-night hosts, the modern-day town criers with better suits and sharper jokes. They take the day's chaos and serve it back to us in hilarious, digestible bites, making sense of the madness. These hosts are more than joke tellers. They're our national interpreters, translating political jargon and legalese into something we can actually understand. When headlines get overwhelming, they're there with a goofy analogy or a perfectly timed impression to cut through the noise. So when Congress voted to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, you can bet our late-night guardians were ready, armed with punchlines and a deep understanding that some stories are too important to ignore. They knew we'd be looking to them not just for laughs, but for clarity. Congress and action in the same sentence? That's rare. But on November 18, 2025, the House of Representatives did something big. They overwhelmingly passed a bill ordering the Justice Department to release all files related to Jeffrey Epstein. The vote wasn't close, 427-1. In today's divided climate, that's practically a miracle. For once, Democrats and Republicans agreed. The public deserves the truth about Epstein, his crimes, and his powerful associates. The Epstein case has been shrouded in secrecy for years, protected by sealed documents and quiet deals. This vote was a demand for accountability, a signal that no one, no matter how rich or connected, should be above the law. As Stephen Colbert put it, when it comes to Congress, it's rare that things happen, and today, something did. The vote wasn't just a legislative procedure, it was a crack of light in a very dark room. Maybe, just maybe, the truth will finally see the light of day. Leave it to Stephen Colbert to turn a congressional vote into a twisted holiday. He dubbed the event Epstein Rockin' Eve, a countdown not to a new year, but to a massive, uncomfortable revelation. Colbert urged his audience to stay up for a ball drop you're going to want to miss, perfectly capturing our mix of curiosity and dread. He poked fun at Congress's rare action, joking they had to answer a troll's riddle to pass the bill. What walks on two cankles in the morning, rides a golf cart in the afternoon, and is totally in the Epstein files? Colbert's genius is making the complex accessible, framing the vote as a bizarre celebration and the legislative process as a fairy tale. He helps us process the gravity of the situation while highlighting the circus-like atmosphere of our politics. Epstein Rockin' Eve was the perfect way to mark a day that was both a solemn step toward justice and a bizarre spectacle. Only Colbert could make us laugh and squirm at the same time. While the big story was the near-unanimous vote, Jimmy Fallon zoomed in on the one outlier. 427-1, he grinned. Just goes to show every office has that one weirdo. Instantly, the lone dissenter became the office eccentric, the guy who microwaves fish or insists on kale salad when everyone wants pizza. Fallon's joke made Washington politics feel familiar and silly, transforming controversy into a relatable moment. That's Fallon's superpower, finding the universal human element in the headlines. His comedy isn't about sharp critique, but about the everyday absurdities, even when they play out in Congress. The joke landed because it let us laugh at the situation without getting bogged down in political minutia. Sometimes a story this dark needs a little lighthearted relief. While Colbert celebrated and Fallon joked, Jimmy Kimmel played the cynic, pouring cold water on the party. He's seen this before: big promises of transparency, followed by endless delays and redactions. If anyone thinks he's going to release all the Epstein files, Kimmel deadpanned, I've got a beautiful east wing of the White House to sell you. The joke was a direct shot at the system's untrustworthiness, especially with Trump in the White House. Kimmel's skepticism is crucial. A House vote is one thing, but actually releasing unredacted files is another. His comedy is grounded in the frustrating reality of how power works, and how often the public is let down. Kimmel's jokes are a call to stay engaged, keep asking questions, and not be fooled by symbolic victories. In his world, you don't celebrate until the files are actually on your screen. And even then, check for missing pages. So, can we read the Epstein files tomorrow? Not so fast. The House vote was just the first step in a long, messy process. Now the bill goes to the Senate, where any senator can delay, amend, or stall it. If the Senate changes anything, it bounces back to the House for another vote, turning the process into legislative ping-pong. Even if both chambers agree, the president can still veto it, and overriding a veto takes a supermajority. Every step is a chance for delay, watering down, or outright killing the bill. The system is designed for deliberation, not speed, frustrating when the public wants answers now. So while the late-night hosts had their fun, the wait for the Epstein files is far from over. Why do we turn to comedians for stories as serious as the Epstein scandal? Because they find the signal in the noise. Politics is dense and confusing. Comedians like Colbert, Fallon, and Kimmel act as translators, slicing through jargon with humor. A joke can communicate a complex idea better than a dozen news articles. Colbert's fairy tale quest, Fallon's office weirdo. These aren't just jokes, they're memorable lessons in civics and human nature. Humor gives us emotional distance, letting us process grim realities without being overwhelmed. Laughter is a coping mechanism, a spoonful of sugar for horrifying medicine. These comedians perform a vital democratic function, holding power to account in a way millions can access. By making us laugh at the powerful, they demystify them and empower us to understand the process. You can't talk about the Epstein files without mentioning Donald Trump. His past association with Epstein is a source of endless speculation. So when the House voted to release the files, late-night hosts zeroed in on how Trump might react. Fallon joked that after the vote, white smoke emerged from the Oval Office chimney, 'cause Trump started burning them. Colbert's riddle: what walks on two cankles in the morning, rides a golf cart in the afternoon, and is totally in the Epstein files? Was a pointed jab. These jokes tap into public suspicion and keep the focus on powerful figures connected to Epstein. Whether it's a bonfire in the Oval Office or a riddle, the humor keeps the pressure on for accountability. After all the votes, jokes, and political maneuvering, where do we stand? We wait. The House vote was a victory for transparency, but just the starting pistol. The bill faces the Senate, a possible veto, and legal challenges from those who want the files buried. Public pressure is key. Keep talking, keep contacting senators, keep the story alive. Even if the bill becomes law, releasing the files will be a monumental task, with debates over redactions and privacy. The fight for the truth will continue long after the legislative battle is won. The story of the Epstein files is a marathon, not a sprint. We wait, we watch, and we hope that laughter and outrage will finally lead to the truth.